Welcome once again to this week's edition of An Irritable Person's Mailbag, during which I will read to you everything you could have read for yourself Monday through Friday on my Substack, Ask an Irritable Person. Monday. Dear Irritable Person, I tell you I was close. I was so close. I had my shot all lined up, and I'm not talking about pool either. I was finally going to rid myself of this strutting popinjay of an office rival, as sure as the cock crows at sunrise. I can't speak more plainly about it, unfortunately. If I go into the details here in a public forum, I might get found out and fired faster than crap goes through a goose. You catch my drift. Don't have to lead that horse to water. Anyway, my trap was set. All I had to do was say the word, and his whole house of cards was going to come a-tumbling down. In other words, he was going to get canned. One and done. Down for the count. And out. And it all went off smooth as silk. When I made my move, he was stunned. Everyone in the conference room was stunned. The big boss was stunned, till the popinjay had the gall to try to shift the blame to me, and it was tough to argue against him, considering that everything he said was true. So now he's still working there, and I'm still working there, but we both won't be working there much longer, because the two of us are going to argue it out in front of the big boss Monday morning, and he's going to decide which one of us is on the way to HR to say our goodbyes. Why does everything have to be so complicated? I thought he'd be a stammering wreck. I never imagined he'd fight back. What should I do now? Am I fucked as bad as in the summer rain after deleted? Sincerely, Sharpshooter. Editor's note. The writer's final metaphor was exceptionally filthy and cannot be published, even online. However, if you send me a money order made out to cash in the amount of $30, I'll snail mail his final sentence to you, folded neatly within the pages of a dirty magazine. Dear Sharpshooter, you sure do love a good metaphor, don't you? Or a bad one. Or like 12 of them. If I catch your meaning, what you're really asking is, why can't my enemies just fold like a cheap card table? Why can't they just toss away a decent hand when I bluff them with nothing but a pair of deuces? Why can't the preening goose get constipated and shit on someone else's shoes? Yeah, consequences suck, don't they? You know how you avoid consequences? Don't take actions. But if you just can't help yourself and you think you need to do something, then don't rely too much on wishful thinking. And don't do something you can't explain to your big boss. And reconsider whether that card table might be sturdier than you think. And believe, no matter how many incorrect lessons you've gleaned from your own personal history, in consequences. 'Cause they're coming your way like a nasty smell after a fart. Enjoy your next career at Target, and be nicer to your coworkers this time, you piece of crap. Sincerely, Irritable Person. Tuesday. Dear Irritable Person, could you please offer some rational explanation as to why people like myself who have built successful businesses are made to feel like we're terrible human beings? After all, it's not my fault I was born into the best economic system in the world, capitalism. I play by its rules. I have a duty to my stockholders to pay my workers as little as possible, to squeeze every last ounce of productivity out of them that I can, and to dissuade them from unionizing. My hands are tied. It's morality or profit. Pick one. And morality is a non-starter economically. Given these facts, do you think that I should bark back when people accuse me of running a sweatshop? Even though I do, in fact, run a sweatshop. Sincerely, Underappreciated. Dear Underappreciated, I think capitalism needs better business leaders. Also, look up the meaning of the words opinions and facts. You've got them confused. Your hands aren't quite tied, you know. You actually could choose morality over profit, just for shits and giggles. Some people do choose morality and manage to make a profit besides. And once you've picked yourself up off the floor after absorbing that little tidbit, I hope you'll realize that you don't have to wait until you're semi-retired to set up your charitable foundation and try to buy your way into heaven. Begin today. None of us know how much time we have left, and you sound like you have a lot of giving yet to do. Sincerely, Irritable Person. Wednesday. Dear Irritable Person, I have a beautiful view outside my living room window. It's a damn shame that I never get to see it since I keep my curtains drawn all the time, morning, noon, and night. I mean, if I can see out, then any damn fool can look in, and I'm not having that. You know what I mean? I don't want people looking through my windows and seeing that I'm partial to repeats of Walker, Texas Ranger. I'm just being precautious. I don't want strangers nosing around in my personal business. My wife and kids used to tell me I was paranoid before they all left me, one by one, long ago. But who's sitting here safe and sound, enjoying the solitude with an AK-47 on their lap in their darkened living room? I am, that's who. Tell me I'm right. Please, God, tell me I'm right. Sincerely, name redacted by the editor. Dear Precautious, I hesitate to disagree with you in any way, given that you're an armed hermit. But what the hell, you did close your letter with a desperate cry for help. First of all, allow me to point out to you that if you are so eager to take precautions, you should not have signed your letter with your real name. This is an anonymous column. You don't see me signing my real name to these things, do you? My parents didn't name me Irritable Person, for God's sake. Who said you had to live life with your curtains closed? Who is standing outside your living room window fascinated by every move you make? Is there really that much foot traffic going past your house? Do you even live in a house? For all I know, you're on the 12th floor of a high-rise. If that's the case, and somebody is standing outside your living room window staring at you, you should reconsider the medications you're on, and then hang garlic and crucifixes around your doors and windows, just as a precaution. Sincerely, Irritable Person. Thursday. Dear Irritable Person, I'm fleeing the country. I thought about doing it when MAGA made a big comeback, but now that a Democratic Socialist won a primary in one city, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. Canada's too cold. I'm thinking maybe some little country in Western Europe like Luxembourg. I'm not sure why I don't like Democratic Socialism, except that it will A, be a disaster, and B, never happen. It's never worked anywhere it's been tried. Editor's note, except Western Europe, including Luxembourg. Why can't we go back to the old days when, as I remember it, things were better? Sincerely, Last Straw. Dear Straw, charge up the DeLorean. We're going back in time. Oh wait, that's not how life works. I'm afraid we only move forward. I appreciate your terror. Oh no, change is afoot, just when things were going so well. After all, why change when we have such good options now? Racist insanity on one side and sclerotic elitism on the other. Why does democratic socialism have to come along and ruin everything by presenting a clear alternative? I hate to point this out to you, but if your arguments against democratic socialism are B, it will never happen, and A, it will be a disaster, well, they sort of cancel each other out, don't they? Pick one. The word you're looking for is or, not and. But by all means, let's stick with mainstream Democrats and see if their approval rating can dip even lower than where it currently sits in the high 20s. Even the credibly accused sex offender and suspected pedophile behind the Resolute desk polls better than that, by double digits. Sure, change is scary. It's also inevitable. What kind of change do you want to see? Sincerely, Irritable Person. Friday. Dear Irritable Person, my son is a hateful human being. He and I are estranged, which is entirely his fault. He was so sweet when he emerged from my womb, covered in blood and placenta. He was a very difficult birth, or at least that's how I choose to remember it. But he had a delighted smile on his face and brightly sparkling eyes that matched both each other and his smile. He was a joy to behold, and all that he beheld filled him with joy. What the hell happened to that kid? When did he turn into the twisted and resentful mess that he is today? When did he become a foul, smelly hermit living alone in the deep woods? Actually, I know the answer to that one. It happened in the early 90s. I won't give up on him, though. I will keep reaching out. I want to bring him back from the darkness. I want him to know that I have built a small cabin on my property. He can hide from the world there if he wants. The front door has a little doggy trapdoor. I can push through meals and the occasional supersized bag of popcorn. Does he still like popcorn, I wonder? And not disturb him one whit. I only hope this message reaches him. Sincerely, Sincere. Hi, Mom. Yes, I know it's you. You did sign the letter, after all. No need to worry whether your message would reach me, since you did mail it to my post office box. Congratulations on yet another passive-aggressive power move. You never fail to disappoint, even as you always fail to surprise. Thank you for the searing visual image of me emerging from your womb, bloody and caked with goo. Just one more thing for me to discuss with my therapist over Zoom next week. All I can say is that I'm living my life such as it is, and at the moment I wouldn't change a thing. I certainly don't want to move into the shed you built in the backyard. I'm doing the best I could with the childhood and the parents I had. And so I try to remember, did you? Sincerely, Irritable Person. And that's it for this week's mailbag. Look for Irritable Person's weekly catch-up audio mailbag every Sunday, and follow the daily column Ask an Irritable Person every Monday through Friday on Substack. Or subscribe. It's free and virtually certain to remain so for the foreseeable future.